Hi, my name is Renee Owen. I'm from Boston in the United States, and I'm a PhD student here at the U of Z in Leipzig. My work aims to answer the question of which chemicals in the environment are toxic to our nervous system health. So we utilize the zebrafish up to 5 days as an unprotected life stage, and we can use this in a high contact format to test various chemicals and their toxic effects. Currently, there are 350,000 chemicals in commerce, yet only a fraction have been tested for safe use within the EU. And so our ultimate goal is to understand how these chemicals are exerting their effects in different species, and thereby we limit the amount of chemicals that are currently on the market that pose potential threat to human health.
Mi chiamo Giulia Pasqualini, sono una ricercatrice italiana all'UFZ e mi occupo di rendere i fiumi più resilienti al cambiamento climatico attraverso la riqualifica fluviale. With our work, we want to inform policies in a way that they can have solutions that are scientifically based to improve our environment, to restore our rivers and have fully functional and rivers that supports biodiversity also in the future. I enjoy working at the U of Z because of the international environment and because we are surrounded by experts that bring their passion and their knowledge to improve our environment. So this is quite a unique.
मेरा नाम नईम शाहिद है और मेरा ताल्लुक़ पाकिस्तान से है। मैं यूएफजेड में इस बात पे तहकीक कर रहा हूँ कि कीमियाई आलूदगी आबी जानदारों के ऊपर कैसे बुरा असर डाल सकती है। Aquatic ecosystems are increasingly threatened by a lot of chemical stressors and non-chemical stressors. So my mission is to understand and predict how these stressors affect biodiversity. My study combines lab investigations, field studies, and mesocosm investigations to understand interaction between multiple stressors at different organizational levels. Through this work, we aim to improve current risk assessment, which ultimately protect the biodiversity and healthy ecosystems.
Ich heiße Jessica Stubenrauch, ich komme aus Leipzig und am UFZ in Leipzig beschäftige ich mich mit Fragen einer nachhaltigen Landnutzungsgovernance. Zum Beispiel, wie man den Rechtsrahmen entwickeln kann, sodass unsere Wälder wieder zu klimaresilienten und biodiversen Mischwäldern werden. In meiner Arbeit analysiere ich den bestehenden Rechtsrahmen und die Steuerungswirkung und darauf aufbauend entwickle ich Vorschläge, wie man diese Steuerungswirkung verbessern könnte. Und gleichzeitig arbeite ich oft an der Schnittstelle zwischen Wissenschaft und Politik und versuche dann die wissenschaftlichen Ergebnisse in die Politik zu übersetzen, dass dann möglichst fundierte und eben wissenschaftsbasierte Entscheidungen auch getroffen werden können. Gleichzeitig arbeite ich in meinen Forschungsprojekten auch viel mit Landnutzenden zusammen oder auch mit Kommunen oder mit der Verwaltung. Und wir überlegen zum Beispiel gemeinsam, wie wir Lösungen entwickeln, um den Wald zukunftsfähig zu gestalten. Und das dient natürlich auch dazu, Brücken zu bauen zwischen sich gegenüberstehenden Lagern in unserer Gesellschaft, weil nur gemeinsam kann man ja am Schluss die großen Herausforderungen, vor denen wir stehen, bewältigen.
নমস্কার, আমার নাম সম্প্রীতি। আমি কলকাতা, ইন্ডিয়া থেকে আসছি। আমি ওয়েবসাইটে বিষাক্ত কেমিক্যালের উপর কাজ করি, কিভাবে আমরা বিষাক্ত কেমিক্যাল আমাদের জল আর মাটি থেকে বের করতে পারি। Coming from the global south, we have a lot of problems here which very often you are not really visible here in the global north. And one of the reasons why I also moved into environmental science was to advance issues in the global south. So I hope I can learn a lot from here and take back all of the knowledge into my own country. So in environmental research, we have several planetary boundaries that we are talking about. In my research, I kind of try to tackle at least 2 of these boundaries. So how we can tackle nutrient cycles by reusing certain waste materials along with chemical pollution. So I think this by itself is a very big step forward into solving many questions in environmental research.
मेरो नाम पल्लव कुमार श्रेष्ठ हो र म नेपाली हुँ। हाल युएफजेड लाइप्जिगमा म युरोपमा लाग्ने खडेरीहरूको सुपर्यवेक्षण गर्ने युरोपियन ड्रट मोनिटरको विकासको नेतृत्व गरिरहेको छु। We know that currently Europe is warming twice as fast as the global rate, and due to which the number of drought events have increased, affecting the crop yield. With the support of my team at UFZ, I'm currently developing the European Drought Monitor that produces near real-time status on agricultural droughts across the continent at high resolution. We believe that this system helps towards a more water-resilient Europe in future. I'm a hydrologist and I always had a passion for programming. When I found out that the UFZ's computational hydrology team is one of the best in the world, I knew that this was my chance to convert my passion into my job.
Mi nombre es Paola Barajas, soy de Colombia y aquí investigo cuáles son los factores que hacen o influencian la extinción de las plantas a nivel local y a nivel global. So as humans, we are heavily dependent on biodiversity, we're part of it, and it's also part of our responsibility that through our actions that deteriorate it, we need to develop ways to stop these negative effects on it. Here at UFZ, it provides a very collaborative and interdisciplinary research environment, and it's very interesting to work with people from different backgrounds and also from different cultures from all over the world.
Cześć, nazywam się Małgorzata Borsiers. Pochodzę z Polski i od 2018 roku pracuję w UFZ w Lipsku. Tutaj badam, jak rozwiązania oparte na biomasie mogą pomóc nam w usuwaniu dwutlenku węgla z atmosfery i przybliżyć nas do neutralności klimatycznej. So we are here at the biogas plant, and this is a very practical example how we transition from the fossil carbon to the renewable one. And my research asks how biomass-based systems can provide us sustainable energy, can reduce emissions, and also contribute to remove carbon from the atmosphere. I do enjoy working at the UFZ because here curiosity is taken seriously and it's also celebrated. And I can also ask one question, many people, and they always come up with different answers. They see different things, they come with new methods, and it's basically like opening a box of opportunities.
Makadini Mose, zita rangu ndinonzi Talent Daddy, ndinobva kuZimbabwe, ndinoshanda pa UFZ muguta reMagdeburg, ndiri mubazi rinoongorora mvura mumadziva nemadhamu. Mvura yakakosha mukati meupenyu. Mubasa rangu ndinoedza kuongorora nekuchengetedza utano hwemadziva nemadhamu. My work is on sediment-water interactions and how they influence water quality in lakes and reservoirs. Sediments in the lakes, they can be a sink or source of nutrients, and by studying these interaction and processes, I'm able to come up with practical solutions that can be used to address water problems the society is facing today.
Hi, my name is Ashleen Smith. I'm a PhD candidate at UFZ Leipzig and I come from South Africa. In my project, I look at chemical and pesticide exposure to bumblebees, trying to determine which chemicals pose the greatest threat to bumblebees in varying landscapes. So pollinators such as bumblebees play a vital role not only in providing an ecosystem service, but also contribute billions of euros yearly to the economy and are also vital for food security. However, pollinator abundance has been decreasing, and this is most likely due to several factors, including loss of habitat or loss of floral resources for food. However, one of the most controversial reasons for the loss of pollinators is pesticides. So for me to determine which pesticides and which chemicals are most affecting the bumblebees and therefore other pollinators, we are able to take the next step in securing the pollinators' future.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम यामिनी योग्य है। मैं भारत से हूँ और मैं UFZ लाइप्जिग में क्लाइमेट चेंज और बायोडाइवर्सिटी डिसीजन मेकिंग के क्षेत्र में काम करती हूँ और हम ये देखते हैं कि जो साइंटिफिक नॉलेज है वो पॉलिसी मेकिंग में किस तरह से पहुँचती है। I think that a very important part of kind of contributing to the conservation of our resources and society at large is to really understand how we can create solutions through incentives and policy making. And I would say that my research contributes to making the science usable, communicating it in a way that it's kind of at the right time for decision makers to be able to pick it up and then use it for different regulations around nature conservation.